Welcome to Explore Brockport. Today we're at the College Planetarium. I'm Anthony Arnone. With me today,
Eric Monnier, professor of physics.
would you mind kind of explaining what a planetarium is and what it sees?
Sure. So the planetarium gives us a view of the sky, basically. So whether it's cloudy or what time of year it is, you can always go into the planetarium and see the stars that are visible tonight, see the planets that are visible tonight. We can show a tour of the solar system from Mercury out to the last planet, Neptune. We can...
The last planet, Neptune? You forgot one. Pluto.
Pluto's a dwarf planet. It's the largest of that class.
What about Pluto approvers?
I don't want to get into politics.
What is some of the value that a planetarium brings to a college campus in SUNY Brockport specifically?
We use it in our astronomy lab, so we have an introductory astronomy course with solar system objects, and then we have another one that teaches about stars, galaxies, and the universe. And also we illustrate the concepts of the night sky, so like how the sun moves, how the stars move, and how things have changed over time even we can do.
I'm going to ask a question that all the college students out there are wondering. Should people fear things falling from the sky? It's a common trope in movies, actually. Armageddon, Don't Look Up recently.
People should be aware that these things can happen, but I don't think anybody should be losing sleep over it, given how rare it is. A large impact only happens on Earth on average every, gosh, what's the number? 100 million years or so, I think.
So we're not due one, right? Just to calm my nerves personally.
Well, we are kind of due, but it won't happen for
Was the last one dinosaurs?
The last one was dinosaurs, the last climate-changing event. There have been impacts that scientists have identified in the last, 50 or 10,000 years. The risk from the sun, from a solar storm wiping out power stations and satellites, that's a lot larger than being struck by an asteroid.
What's a solar storm?
A solar storm is sort of like it's an eruption of gas from the sun, which usually heads in a certain direction. Usually we avoid them, just given how big space is. And
You just unlocked a new fear in me, solar eruptions.
there you go. Coronal mass ejections, those are the ones you have to be.
Okay, good to know.
Be afraid of.
I'll lock that one away. Colonizing Mars is another common thing that people are talking about more and more nowadays. What is the actual likelihood of something like that happening, and what would it take?
To make it habitable would require a huge feat of engineering. It's more an engineering problem, right? If you have the political will and you have the resources, read that as money, to get to Mars, you can support a small expedition there and then bring people home. Human colonization of Mars is many years in the future, but if it's something humanity decides it wants to do, there's no reason it can't.
What's the future for the planetarium at Brockport look like?
So really, I think we're just getting started. We're just ramping up. The future for us, the big event coming up is in 2 years, April 8th, 2024, there's a total solar eclipse visible from Brockport, from Rochester, from upstate New York. And
that's
so
awesome.
we expect a lot of interest in that, a lot of activity around that.
So why is a total solar eclipse such a major event?
So a total solar eclipse happens every few years somewhere on Earth, but where you are, it's only going to happen over long periods of time. So the last one in Rochester, Brockport, was 1925. And so seeing one should really be on everyone's bucket list because they are so rare and it's difficult to get to them. Usually you have to travel to Antarctica or the South Pacific or some obscure place on Earth. But this one is actually right here in our own backyard.
So basically, if I miss the one on April 8th, 2024, and I don't plan to travel to see one, I'm going to die without seeing a total solar eclipse.
Well, hopefully you'll live until 2045. So.
Yeah. How do you actually look at a total solar eclipse? I was always told not to look directly at the sun, even during an eclipse.
So during a total solar eclipse, during what we call totality, so the sun's disk is completely blocked out by the moon, it's only 3 minutes and 38 seconds, I think. And you really need for somebody to tell you, okay, now you can look. Otherwise, you shouldn't. And then during totality, you can look. When totality's ending, somebody will tell you, okay, look away, and then you would look away.
I know that you guys also offer public planetarium shows that are open to anyone within the community. Could you tell me a little bit about those?
We do. We have a public show every Friday on the first and third week of the month. And during those shows, there's an introduction to the sky, the planets that are visible, the constellations that are visible, any current astronomy events like the Webb telescope. And then we usually show a feature.
For people who are interested in astronomy, why is it they should check out a physics department, specifically ours at SUNY Brockport?
If you're interested in astronomy and learning more about why things are the way they are, why the universe is the way it is, why things have certain colors, then physics is the way to go. So if you're interested in physics, please check out Brockport Physics.
Thank you for exploring Brockport with us today. If you're interested in visiting the planetarium, be sure to check out their schedule online.